Perfect.
All right, awesome. So before I jump into things, is there anything specific that you want to know?
Did you get that list I sent?
I have it right now. General tour, difference between edit page, edit with Elementor, and customizer, publishing changes, how to see pages and edit if they're available in header / change sequence, which I'm not sure what that means.
What did it say?
How to see pages and edit if they're available in the header / change sequence.
Okay.
And then go over plugins and how to add.
Okay. Yes, that's all I have.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to first show you one thing, and that's this little video tutorials tab, which we include in, it's going to be on both of your sites. This has a lot of video tutorials on how to do some of the things that you're asking. These are all available to you, so you can kind of click through here. The only thing that this doesn't cover, so this is WordPress specific. So if you're looking to do Elementor things, this is not going to cover it.
Okay.
That being said, we try to use Elementor as little as humanly possible when we're building sites. And there's two reasons for that, or actually there's three. The first one is it's a lot quicker as far as, you know, page load times for your users, which helps a lot with SEO. Elementor is quite code heavy, so we try to avoid it. It's a great tool, don't get me wrong, but we try to avoid it. The second reason is it's a lot easier on your end, our client's end, if they're trying to edit content, because Elementor is not as easy to use as Gutenberg or what's built into WordPress. And then heaven forbid, the last reason is if you don't like the theme that you're using, if you decide to take Elementor and try to convert it to a new theme, it will never happen. It's just, there's too much in there. So if you ever do switch content or switch themes, if you stick with what's built into WordPress, it'll transfer easily and you can essentially wrap a new theme around it very easily.
Okay.
So just kind of thinking of the future of your site if you ever decide that too. So as far as the rest of it goes, so I'm going to give you that general tour, then I guess I'll start there. How familiar are you with WordPress?
I've never used it before. I played with it a little bit, but only in Elementor.
Okay, that's good to know. So the way that WordPress works is it breaks things into a couple different, I mean, you can see them over here, a couple different categories. So you have your posts, your pages, and your media library. This is essentially where you're going to be doing most of your work is right here.
Okay.
The difference between a post and a page, now granted, our verbiage, it's still a page on your site, a post will be, it's just, you know, what's, you know, on the back end. A post is more along the lines of a blog post or a news or announcement. It's things that get replaced over time. So, for example, like, you know, hey, we had this great event over the weekend. Here's some information about it. You know, here's some pictures and here's how it went down. This was awesome to have. Because over time, people aren't going to want to read that, especially if it's 3 years old. But you still might want it on your site, especially because it helps with SEO. So it just kind of gets replaced over time versus pages, which are more permanent. We call it evergreen content because it doesn't really change. Now, that's not saying that the content on the page won't change, but the actual page itself will never change. You're always going to have an about page.
Okay.
So that's kind of the difference there. As far as editing them, it's the same exact way to edit both. So if you wanted to edit a post, it'd be the same exact way you edit a page.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that, you know, WordPress works there. So if I jump into, I don't even know if you have any posts. I don't think that you do. Yeah, you just have one, which is just announcing a new website. So I'll go to pages because that's where we'll be doing most of this editing. All right, so I guess this is going to show you how to edit with Elementor and Customizer. So the Customizer, which is under Appearance and Customize, is that what you were talking about there?
Yeah, well, it was whenever I went to view the site. I'm sure it is because I viewed the site And then at the top it says, has like a little paintbrush and it says customize.
Okay, that is all. Yep.
And Elementor.
Right up here.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to do something for you here real quick because I know that this will probably make it a little bit easier for you to see. There you go. Now you can, that's a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, this you will never touch.
Okay.
I mean, I say never, you might. It's just one thing that you really don't need to worry about. It's the only thing that we actually use out of this is to set your little favicon or fav icon, which is what you see up here.
Yeah.
We don't even use the logo part of it. And then we do add CSS if we need it. So like I said, I highly doubt you'll ever be touching this. Yeah. So that's all. Yeah, that's all that is. I mean, this is code that we've added. So that's the only thing that we use it for, because Elementor takes care of the rest there.
Got it.
Some themes use that quite heavily, but not the one that we use, not with Elementor.
Okay.
So that's what that is. Edit page and edit with Elementor. So like I said, we try to not use Elementor as much as we can. So whenever you go to edit something, always hit this edit page. Try not to click this edit with Elementor at all. Because what will happen is if you click edit with Elementor, what will happen is this page will be converted to Elementor. You're smiling because you did it?
Yes.
It's fine. So what happens is the page gets then converted to Elementor, and then you're stuck using Elementor to style that page from here on out. Oh,
well, okay. So Jennifer told me I had to edit it in Elementor.
Some pages you do. I think it's only your home page.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so a good practice is to always click this edit page. And the reason for that being is if it's not Elementor, it'll jump right into editing it. And if it is, it's one more click, but it's just a good practice. It'll kind of prevent you from, if you get into that practice, it'll prevent you from converting a page that you don't mean to.
Okay.
Another way to actually get to edit pages. So that was from the front end. So if you're clicking around through your site and you go to the about page, for example, and you hit edit, you can do that. And there's another way that you can get to access this edits, and that's to actually go into the back end and go to your pages. And then you can edit them from here. And you can see what's really nice here too, is that you can see what pages are Elementor and which ones aren't, because they'll have this little Elementor at the end of them.
Okay.
So yeah, your home page is the only one that's built using Elementor, and that's typical because just using WordPress, you're kind of limited.
Yeah.
And home pages are typically a little bit more stylized and things like that. So. And actually, I don't even think that, I could be wrong, but I think that I set up your home page so that it wouldn't even need to be Elementor. I could be wrong.
Is it okay? I haven't seen the regular edit, but is it okay to keep it?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I liked it.
I mean, you can convert every single page to Elementor if you want to.
Okay.
That's completely on you. Like I said, kind of those 3 reasons I gave you before, that's why we try to not stick with it. Okay. Let's just go to the about page, and I'll kind of show you a little bit of how to edit in here. Okay. So the way that this works is it's what's called a block builder. Similar in theory to what Elementor has, it's just not as intuitive. It's a little bit easier, I think, but how it works is it works in these blocks. So you can see here, well, I'll try to get it. Yeah, it's not going to highlight it. Of course it won't, because I'm trying to get it to highlight. So you can see here. So if I go to, so we'll get rid of this coming soon, and you can type in a long paragraph. I'm just going to steal some content from here real quick. So we have our 2 long paragraphs on the About Us. And let's say you wanted to, how this works is that each block is each paragraph here is a block. So, and each block, the one you're working in here, has different settings, and it really depends on the type of block that it is. So if you have an image block, for example, it's going to have different settings, obviously, than a paragraph block.
Okay.
So if I wanted to insert, or before or after this block, I can by hitting this little more options. Once I'm inside of a block, hit this little more options, and you can insert before, and then you can add whatever type of block, or if you just want to start typing, that'll automatically default to a paragraph block. So if I click this, now there's only 6 here, but you can see when I hit this browse all, there's a ton of them. I mean, I can keep scrolling. To be honest with you, I don't even know what half of them do, because I haven't needed to use any of them yet.
Okay.
But let's say you wanted to add an image or even a gallery. We can even click that. So you add your gallery, and you can either upload or select from your media library. So we'll pick these 3 pictures right here. Create that new gallery. And then, of course, we have settings. So we can add an animation if we wanted to. There's 2 places where block settings happen, and that's directly in this little bar above the block that you're working on, or in this right-hand side, you'll see this block tab. There's settings over here. So if I wanted this to be 2 columns instead, I could do that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Or if I say don't crop the images, which you'll get a little bit, you probably want that, but I can say link to the media file, which means that if I click on this picture, it'll pop up bigger. And I can change the image size to be, let's say, tiny. You're going to lose quality, but light box, again, that's where if you click on it, it'll pop up bigger.
Okay.
You can align these to the right, align it to the left. There's a bunch, like I said, bunch of options there.
Yeah.
We have that. And again, build this out, do what you need to there. And when you're ready, so if this is what you want on your About Us page, you can just hit this update button and it'll happen, which I go ahead and do. And you can even preview before you actually publish it. So if you wanted to see what it would look like, hit this little preview tab, and you can see what it would look like on mobile, desktop, tablet, whatever you're looking with. Okay. And then preview it. And it'll open up in a new tab. I can always go back. Okay, all right, this is what my About page is going to look like when I'm done.
Okay.
Because it's really difficult, because the editor tends to be a really narrow window compared to when you actually go to the page. It's quite wider.
Right.
So you might want to play around and see what that's going to look like.
Okay. I have a question, actually. So whenever I was in the Elementor for the homepage, I hit, like, on the bottom left, there was update, and I think it just updated a draft. But I didn't know how to make that actually the new homepage.
Yeah, right down here.
I can't see. It's actually cut off. Yeah, but yes. Does that not publish this homepage?
It will. So if you hit update, it will change the homepage.
Because it didn't, like, those pictures I changed.
These ones here?
Yeah, those pictures don't populate if you go to just like www.greencastle.com.
Yeah, I'm just make a quick change there. Let's update. And I go and view the page.
Oh.
They're there.
Okay, never mind.
They're there.
Okay.
Something unique with your site that I did, with especially your header area, that I do want to talk to you about, because it's not standard, is, so I'm going to go back to your pages, and I'm going to go to that About page, and I'm going to edit it. You'll see here, when I go to preview this page, I'll just preview it in a new tab. You have this About. The header background images are always going to remain that same 3 or 4 or whatever. You can add to those, you can change them out. So if you have like a bunch of fall pictures that you want to use, you know, around fall time, you can do that. Same thing with winter. Like if you have, you know, it might be cool to change those out.
Page, it'll change.
But it'll always be these 3 images. And I'll show you where to edit those. But as far as the content up here goes, I do allow you to add additional content in this area. So if you go to, we're going to edit this page, it'll automatically pull this title, right? If I want to overwrite this, I can. I have to go down here on the right-hand side under the page tab. So the page tab is where all of your page settings are going to be here. Same thing with post, when you go to a post. So if I wanted this to be published instead of on January 7th, I wanted it to, I can schedule this for the future or backdate it. You can do that. Granted, on pages, it doesn't matter. Just because they're, like I said, they really don't go by date. They're going to be there forever.
Right.
But if I go down here, I have this page title short code, and I did put this in here. Do not change this unless you plan to replace the default page title with a custom short code. So what I mean by that is if you get rid of this, and I say about instead of about us or about Greencastle. So your page title is still going to be about us, but when you go to preview that, or when you go to, if I were to update this page, you'll notice here how making some calls today, and I just might make me update it. So that's why I'm asking what positions is which folder. It goes to about Greencastle, and you got to be careful here because, like I said, it's not really built to. I'll check with her. I don't. You have to then stylize this, so I'd have to say, okay, this needs to be in. Assuming that you won't be playing with this too much. Okay. At all.
So you said if I do change it, I need to change it just in the editor and not over there?
Yes, that's okay. The only, yeah. So even if you were to create this in Elementor, so if I go to here, I'll refresh this. Yeah, now it says about Greencastle because I have that and I put code around it. Now, I highly doubt you'll be changing the page titles like that. Where you'll be doing most of your things is saying like, okay, instead of just about us being up there, which let me save this because I put it back. Okay, so it's back to this. So if you want to make that, I would suggest just changing it here to the page title. Where it kind of comes fun for you though is that I do allow you to add subheadings if you wanted to. So if you wanted to add something along these lines, and I can update this, I'll go back over here and I'll refresh it. It'll allow you to add subheadings.
Okay, cool.
So again, I highly doubt you'll be messing around with this too much other than adding subheadings, in which case you'll just add the subheading here.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe it's because you're in it and I'm in it, but if I go to just www.greencastlegolf.com, it doesn't show the changes, like the picture changes aren't on there.
That's going to be your browser cache.
Okay.
Caching is essentially, it's a double-edged sword. It helps a lot with site speed, like a ton, which is why browsers do it. So essentially what it does is it saves the page and it saves it in your browser memory. So when you go back to that page, it doesn't have to reload it from the internet. It just reloads it from the browser memory, the browser cache. So all you have to do is just clear your browser cache, Control F5.
What is it?
Control F5.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Another thing too is that the server does have a cache as well with hosting. So if it's a change that needs to happen immediately, on your site, you have this little clear cache for me button. Just click it and it'll tell you success when it's done. And basically that will tell the other browsers like yours, it'll kind of tell it to refresh it. Does it happen? Is it perfect? No, but it's at least one step we can kind of make to try to force that. So if you have like wrong information on your site, like you might want to do that. If not, it typically takes about a half an hour for the cache to kind of refresh on its own.
Okay. Cool.
So that's how to make all these edits on the About Us page, or well, any of the pages on your site. I'll go ahead and delete all this because you're gonna want. I do want to go over 2 blocks here with you, just real quick, because they can be a little bit difficult to work with, and they're going to be ones that you're going to be using. So if I hit this add block, there is a column block. And you have a few different layouts that you can use. Let's just say I wanted to go to 3/3. All you do is to click inside of these, you add additional blocks. So let's say if it's a paragraph. And we'll do an image. So something that you can note with this is that it's blocks now nested inside of other blocks, if that makes sense. Mm. So there's an easy, sometimes clicking around can be a pain to try to find the actual, like if I'm trying to like select this column block. So yeah, it's the columns block. And then inside of that is each specific column has its own block. Right. And then each of the elements inside that are their own blocks as well. So it's kind of like nested inside. It's can sometimes be a pain to try to click to these. They have this little block navigator in the top, which is so helpful. So you can find, okay, I can get to that column.
Okay.
And I can say, okay, I can get to this column. And what's nice is you can change these alignments. So I want this image to be vertically aligned. And then I can go, okay, I want to go to this column and delete it. So I only want 2. Let's preview this. And now I have my paragraphs and this is centered vertically in those, you know, on the block.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
There we go. We can update that. And again, this video tutorials will walk you through how to make all those. So that block editor that I was just showing you is what's called Gutenberg.
Okay.
It's built into WordPress.
Got it.
The Gutenberg editor. This is where you're going to find how to use that. Okay. So just something to keep in mind.
And those, Jennifer said that this video, I have to download it because it might go away, but these will never go away.
Yeah, so well, given your permission, I will take this video that we're using right now and actually upload it to YouTube, which will be, no one will really ever find it. And what I'll do is I'll actually put this video that we're doing right now right here. So if you go to video tutorials, it'll add to this row, but this video that we're doing right now will be added right here. So you can go back and watch it at any time through your site and it won't ever get removed then because it'll be on YouTube.
Okay.
As far as some things to stay away from, any updates that you see, don't worry about doing them. Part of your hosting plan is actually for us to go in and do these manually. So that way, if they break your, because updates can break your site. So if you see updates available, just leave that to us. We'll take care of it. Because if it does break your site, we'll restore it immediately and figure out what's wrong, make the changes, and then make sure that that update gets done. So stay away from that. This Elementor tab, I'm sorry, this templates tab, you'll be staying away from this for the most part as well, with the exception of one thing.
Okay.
And that is your your header template, which is, if you click this templates, you go to published. Why it doesn't show them all here when you first initially click on it, I don't know. But scroll down and you'll find your header template at the very bottom. This is the only one you'll be editing for the most part. Okay. All the other ones, like default post, default page, if you start editing these, they could break your site. So just kind of something to be aware of. So if I go to this default header, what you'll do is you'll just, the only time, again, hit edit with Elementor. Mm-hmm. And this is where you'll be changing those background images. So you can see here how it is not, there's a lot going on. That's why I was saying that you might want to be careful. Mm-hmm. But if you hover over this blue area, which you can see I am right now, and click this little 6-dot button, go to style, you'll see that the images here that are used, this is where you'll change this. So if you click this little pencil brush, you can edit the gallery by either deleting these, or you can add to it. So we'll just click add to for right now. And let's say we wanted to add this one. Actually, that's a great one to add. And we'll hit add, and you can see how it gets added at the end. And you can drag and drop these around if you wanted to have this one to be in the front.
Okay.
When we're ready, hit insert gallery. And you can see here now that it's on your site. Something to keep in mind when you're adding header images is that this image is a prime example, is that you want your main subject to be dead center of that image. Going back to that one, once it cycles through, you'll see that the horizon line is kind of not lined up. Mm-hmm. If someone's viewing that on a super wide screen, it might not line up at all, and they might be just viewing it, looking at water the entire time versus the actual scene that you want them to. Okay. So what you can do, I'm going to get rid of that image and hit add to gallery. I'm going to go back to that image, but I'm going to hit edit. And I'm just going to crop it. So that way that horizon's kind of dead center. Mm-hmm. Hit enter, and then save it. And now when I add it, which is right here, add to gallery, drag and drop it, insert, you'll see that it's much better aligned.
Okay.
And then, of course, when you're done, hit this update button, and you'll be finished there.
If I have to change like the hours that are in the footer, would I edit the footer too?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
Let's exit the dashboard. So we'll go to templates, published, find the footer, hit edit with Elementor. And all of this, by the way, is the same exact thing on the Greencastle side. The only thing different over there is just, we just changed up the colors and the fonts. So as far as what you're seeing here, everything else is the same over there. Gotcha. So yeah, if you want to edit these hours, hover over top, hit edit icon text. It's in this, because it's a list. Go to here and then just edit it. So if you wanted to change it to 7 to 7, you could do that. When you're ready, hit this update button. I'm not going to do that, but that's what you would do.
Okay, perfect.
Keep in mind, this footer is not, unfortunately, I mean, we could do it, but you're talking some custom programming going on. If you change it on this site, make sure you change it on the other one. Because they're not the same. Yeah, just make sure. Right. We could make it that way, but like I said, it'd be some custom programming going on there. And I don't think it's that difficult to go to both.
So if I accidentally do something and I need to not do it, I just exit to dashboard without updating or anything.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yep. Something else to note, and this is good for you to know, is that let's say you do break your site. Okay. Yeah. It might happen with your hosting plan. You can have us restore your site to the day previous up to 6 times throughout the year. No charge.
Okay. Okay.
If you say, hey, I really screwed up my site, can you restore it to yesterday? We'll do that 6 times throughout the year, not charge you a penny.
Awesome.
And we keep updates for your site up to 30 days. So even if you have to go back a month, you can say, hey, I need to go back a month, restore that one. After 30 days, they're gone, and we go to what's called archival backups, in which case we'd have to go back 6 months, which at that point, we keep backups. So just to let you know, we keep backups for 30 days, and then 6 months ago, and then 1 year ago. And they're daily backups for 30 days. So that's mostly where you're going to be doing it if you need to.
Very cool.
I like that image.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was in there, to be honest.
Is that a dual fairway?
Yes, I guess you would call it that.
Okay. Or is it a par 3?
Yes, it's a par 3.
You wouldn't even be hitting that. Well, maybe I would be. Is there anything else that you'd like to know how to do?
Yes, actually. If I wanted to change the order of, like, let's say in the menu, I wanted golf to be before About Us, how would I do
that? I'm going to do something for you real quick, just because I saw it. All I did was take that subscription, and centered it for you.
Oh, cool! Thanks.
Well, I will. Now go back. Okay, so yeah, menus are going to be done. So I'm going to go back to the WordPress dashboard. I'm going to go to Appearance, Menus. And let's say you added a page too. This is where you'd add it to your menu.
Okay.
To add pages and posts, I'm going to really quickly touch on that because that's important. To add a page, when you're on the Pages tab, just hit this Add New. Same thing with posts. If you wanted to add a new one, same thing there. All right, so once you have the page that you want to change this order around, it's drag and drop.
Oh, perfect. That's great.
And you can nest things inside. So if you had a golf, I don't know, let's say Tee Times was part of membership for whatever reason, you can actually drag that underneath. After so excuse me, your menu will only show up to 3 nested. So the main, nest 1, nest 2, and that if you wanted to, if you put one more underneath it, it would not show in your navigational menu.
Okay.
So you're you're limited to just the 3 levels, which your site is nowhere near the size that it would be more than that. When you're ready to save this, just hit the save menu. If you want to add menu items, so let's say you did add a new page, you go to this, we have most recent, but go to the View All tab, and this is where all your pages will be. You can scroll through, find the one that you want. It's like employment application, add to menu, and you can see how it adds it. So if I wanted to put this underneath, I could.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't have anything to save there, but yeah, that's where you would do your menu. So I'm just fixing those few things real quick for you. Come on. Golf course busy today with the weather.
Yeah, so busy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's so good to see people out here again.
Gorgeous out.
Yeah.
I hurt my back really bad like 2 days ago, and I'm like kicking myself because I'm like, oh, I just really want to go outside and just walk around the park with the boys.
Where's timing?
Yeah, it really is horrible timing. Between the weather being nice and then on top of that, I was supposed to, let's refresh it. So I'm doing a Control F5 to get that there. Now you can see that centered.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, I did add that plugin, so I was hoping that I did it right.
But... yes, adding plugins. So to add plugins, they're going to be right here. Don't fall into the trap of, hey, I'm trying to add a gallery. Let's add a gallery plugin.
Okay.
As much as like it's easy, it's like, oh, there's an app for that. It's, you know, kind of the same thing with WordPress. Here's the thing. The more plugins you add, the slower your site will become. And also the more vulnerabilities you will open your site up to. Because each plugin that you add, each plugin has, you know, developers, and some are more careful than others as far as opening up your site to vulnerabilities. If you open up your site, let's say this Elliot Condon guy, he's a terrible programmer, and someone finds a way into WordPress or into your WordPress site so they can actually get into this dashboard via this plugin. I'm not saying this one, but they could. You want to limit that as much as you humanly possibly can.
Right. Okay.
And if you're ever trying to add any functionality, don't hesitate to reach out to us and just be like, hey, I'm trying to add this. Do you guys have a solution for this that doesn't require a plugin or whatever the case may be? And typically we will.
Okay.
Or we'll tell you which plugin, hey, use this one because we've tested it numerous times and we have it on multiple sites.
Okay.
I mean, we have a whole list of, I'll show it to you. We have a whole list of approved plugins that we use. So if our team is ever looking for anything, this is where I go first.
Gotcha.
Is there any, well, let's see here. Let's go back to your list. Edit changes, publish changes, good there. And then plugins, yeah. Is there anything else that I can go over with you?
Yes. How do I turn on and off the maintenance mode?
Yes. So under Elementor, and then tools.
Okay.
I think it's settings. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, it is tools. I was right. Oh my God. There's a maintenance mode tab. And you go to choose mode and then disabled. And if I hit save changes, it'll open up your site. And now your site's live right now. I'm on the Fireside, but same thing.
Okay. Which
I will say maintenance. Keep in mind, we don't have a coming soon page enabled. So if you're going to put it on anything, just always choose maintenance.
Okay. Sounds good.
I see that you replaced that footer logo with the transparent one.
I didn't. I did send it to Jennifer, though.
Oh, Jennifer probably did then. Good, because I want to make changes to your Fireside because I'm using those little lines right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to change it to that flame.
Oh, cool.
And then the same thing up here, we just have a WordPress logo, which is default. I was going to change this to the flame as well.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
And swap out your logo for that. With the transparent one here too.
Okay.
Let's see, what else? Say while you're thinking, I'm going to make that change right now.
For the post, would it replace the next post, or would it just have a list of all the posts?
Yep. So as far as your posts go, which you don't have a feed on your homepage, if you go to, where's your posts going to be? News and announcements. So as you add additional posts, what will happen is this page will populate with more. So let's, I can add one right now because you're on maintenance mode anyway. So let's do that. So let's go to new post. Let's see. Something to note for posts is, let's go back to your site just so you can see this real quick under news and announcements. This image here is populated by what's called the featured image. So if I'm in this post, I want to make sure that under this post tab, I make sure that I select the featured image. So if I go to featured image and select one, we'll choose you and your puppy. And then when I publish this, so we'll go ahead and publish, and then we'll go back to your news and announcements. Actually, I want to make sure, okay, it is published. I'm just going to refresh this page. So Control F5. And you can see here how it adds it.
Oh, okay.
And this will keep adding them as time goes on.
So how, if I say I wanted to share that on Facebook.
Yep. That's another important thing there too. When doing those featured images, is because Facebook will pull this as the image to use. So, and if you don't want that, I'm going to add this real quick here for you. Come on. I'm so impatient.
I was going to say that was really fast, but.
Yeah, it's why my internet bill is like ridiculous because I'm like so impatient. I'm like, just go with the fastest one, Angela. That's my wife. All right, so go to your posts and we'll go to that one. Okay, so we'll edit this. So yeah, like I was just saying, Facebook, Twitter, all of those will pull from your featured image right here, unless you specifically set it otherwise. And I just installed this Yoast Seo plugin. If you want to start doing SEO for your site, highly suggest going through Yoast's training. It's actually free, or at least their YouTube Academy is free. But they have a bunch of really, it makes it easy. So let's say if you're trying to rank your site for golf, which is a really difficult keyword because high competition, but golf course, and you guys are not in Hanover, Chambersburg, right?
That would be fine to say.
Whatever. So yeah, golf course in Chambersburg, that's the keyword that you want to rank for. It will give you things to do to your site. So if you click this SEO analysis, this is all the things that need to be changed on ranking for that keyword.
Very cool.
But anyways, as far as Facebook goes, social, if you wanted to specifically set a Facebook image, which is great because I know that they have certain aspect ratios that you try to hit. You can manually set this here, and you can also manually set your Facebook title and descriptions. Same thing with Twitter. It's just Twitter and Facebook that it allows.
Okay.
Actually, I think it does more. No, just the two, Facebook and Twitter.
Okay. So,
but to share it, all you do is just share copy and paste the link to the site or to that page. So if I want to share this as a test.
Yeah.
There's the link that I want to share, which you can right click, copy link address, and just paste it.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
This permalink or slug, used interchangeably, the same wording. Let's say if you had a really long title, which you might, I'll tournament right. Obviously, this is a super long title. And when you don't, now I already published this page, but if I didn't yet, it would automatically pull this as the slug or the URL, which would make your URL like super long.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, just say, that would help shorten it up. That's just for when you share things elsewhere, put it in an email. You don't have this like ridiculous. I'm sure you've had those URLs that you know what I'm talking about, where it gets like 3 lines of text. Yeah. You know, it kind of helps avoid that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Very cool.
So I'm going to move this post to the trash because we're done using it. If I go to my post now, which I'm there now, the trash can's here if I do want to restore it. Like let's say if you accidentally hit it, I can hover and hit restore. Things will be deleted automatically out of this trash can in 30 days. So this will be gone in 30 days, whether you forget about it or whatever.
Okay, very cool.
If you have a page that you're working on and you're not ready to publish it, so let's say I have a new post. I don't want to publish it yet because I need some information. I can save this as a draft. Same thing with pages go. You can save it as a draft. And if you go to your posts, you'll see it there. And it'll have that little draft tab next to it.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Yep. What about a page? Like if I already have a page that's in my, like, let's say I need to turn off viewing for membership billing page so nobody can see it.
Oh, some billing.
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, so if I were to edit this building, if I change this, I can say switch to draft.
Okay.
And it'll switch it. Now here's the thing, you still have it as part of your menu. It's fine. You can leave it like it is. It won't show up in your menu anymore.
Oh, okay.
If it's in draft status, it won't show up in your menu.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Something to note with these embed codes that you have. This right here, the style equals border 1px solid. Get rid of it.
Okay, I didn't make those, so.
No, I know. You're getting them directly because when you view the page, before it had this ugly black border around it. Now it's just clean.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yay. I did that with your tea times.
Okay.
Page. Yeah, I got rid of that little black border around it. Yes, it will see here. It's got that little black border, which I can get rid of by getting rid of that little style button.
Nice.
Yeah, now it's cleaner.
Oh yeah, that looks great. Awesome.
Okay. I don't think there's anything else.
Okay.
Yep. Is there anything else that you can think of? Because we're just about coming up on our hour, so.
Nope.
Oh, we got 10 minutes. I thought it was 59. My eyes are.
No, I don't have anything else actually that I know of.
Sounds good.
Could you also, I know you said you were going to put it on YouTube and on there. Could you also send it to me just so I could put it in our Google Drive?
Yeah, so how I'll do that, I'll put it up on, we call it S3. It's Amazon storage. It's similar to Google Drive. It's just an Amazon. When you get the link, what you'll do is you'll right click on it and hit save target link as or something along those lines. And that'll allow you to save the save the video.
Cool. Okay.
Awesome. Let me get this logo switched out here on the Fireside Pub page. Without that white transparent background.
Yes.
Did I save it to my, why I saved it to my desktop?
Oh, I wanted to ask, well, never mind. Maybe I should talk to Jennifer.
Go ahead. I might know the answer.
Just if there's any, for the menu, I haven't really looked at the Fireside yet, but any cool menu formatting.
Yes. So I'm glad you actually brought that up. Are you familiar with the Wheelhouse Cafe down in Chambersburg?
No.
Okay. I know you're down in that direction. They contacted us for their website, so we're doing theirs as well. So as far as menu goes, there's a couple different, there's tons of plugins out there for it. Make sure that when you're searching for it, because I made this mistake, as far as what restaurant or as far as what menu plugin to use, make sure you search restaurant menu because WordPress menu is going to be what's going to pop up first.
Okay.
All right, so that's swapped out. You're good there. Yeah, as far as what plugin to use for that, there's a bunch of options that you have. I haven't looked through them personally, so I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't want to make a recommendation without looking through them. But if I do find out, like I said, if we're like 95% done with closing that job, I hope we get it. If we do find something when we're doing that other website, I will definitely, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, perfect. Great.
If not, if you find something, please let me know.
Okay. Will do.
If not, what you could do, I'll go to your menu page. Let's go to edit. They have what's called an accordion, which might work great, and it's something that you won't need a plugin for. So let's say it's header. Let's say see how much you use. Let's go accordion. There we go. This accordion might work out great because then they can click in and see, and you can even add images to this.
Okay.
Is it the most pretty? I don't know, maybe not.
Okay.
But it allows you to, because I know sometimes if images are on the site, you'd be sitting there scrolling forever to try to read through it.
Yeah.
Versus if you just hit the images inside these collapsible bars, you could do that.
Great.
Do you want me to leave this site as how I just had it, just in case you want to use it like that?
Just leave it like that.
Okay. Yeah, because you're on maintenance mode anyways, so. And we can style this to look nicer. It's just gray. We can get rid of these little carrots or whatever. You have a bunch of options with it.
Okay.
But like I said, if I find something outside of this, I'll let you know.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to finish up making these changes to your Fireside Pub site because we're going to be needing to do that anyways.
Okay.
But I'll stop this recording and heck it is.